Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are very, very close right now to going back to war. We're not quite there yet. We have a little bit more that we want to do. Specifically, I want to finish up researching living reactive armor and get our fleets upgraded to that. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but not a significant amount. It should be relatively fine. We should have the resources to do it right now, I think. Hang on, let's double check here. Yes, we definitely have the resources. So that sounds great. We're going to get that done, and if we check in here, we're currently at 11 of 10 Titans, which is definitely not ideal. We'll be working on that, for sure. But that'll be a background sort of task. We'll get to that eventually. We're going to have to plan our invasion of the Telensian Kingdom, and the question is, how strong are they? The answer is not very. They do have a dimensional fleet, which is reasonably strong. We could keep our fleets divided into, like, chunks of 2 and be perfectly and completely safe, even if they concentrated all of their force. And that is likely what we're going to end up doing. So that would mean 6 attack vectors.
Research concluded.
And that is reasonably fine. So there's living reactive armor done at this point. None of the rest of this is all that relevant. I'm just going to grab armor hit points. That seems reasonable. And now we want to go through our ship designs. So, first things first, we're going to ditch the advanced afterburners. The sublight speed is nice, but we're at 397 right now. Our destroyers are at 316. If we ditch this, we're at 366. So our corvettes are still faster than our destroyers. They're going to be limited by the slowest ships in the fleet. Our evasion remains at 90. So we're just going to run a living reactive armor, and maybe we manage to survive a hit. Maybe. We'll see. Here we've got living Hi, console. I don't want to look at you right now. Here we've got living reactive armor already put in from auto upgrade. That looks good. It's already done on cruiser, battleship, and Titan. So those all look fine. Now we need to hop into the Federation ship designer. So we're going to head in here. We're going to do the same thing on this Corvette. We're going to ditch the advanced afterburners, and we're going to put in living reactive armor, just in case we're able to actually survive a hit. That would be nice. Everything else here is likely auto-upgraded, but it actually isn't. We should have advanced shield hardeners instead of shield capacitors here. Okay, something approximately like that. Now, our destroyer auto-upgraded. That looks good. Our cruiser did as well. Our battleship did as well, and our Titan is... Well, actually, did it? Hang on. No, the cruiser did not upgrade. Living reactive armor goes in here. And living reactive armor here. I don't know... Oh, these are not set to auto-upgrade. That would do it. Sure, that seems fine. So we're going to put in living reactive armor in each of these. And now we should need to upgrade every single one of our fleets. And that is indeed exactly what we're going to do. So, each of these is going to be quasi-expensive, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But let's just get all of these set right on up, and we'll get this done. And then we're... No, I don't want to mercenary enclave that. I want to upgrade the fleet. Okay, that seems fine. The Ararat we can actually upgrade as well, which we're going to do. And we are just going to upgrade every single one of these. Once that's all done, then we're going to look at that point at our invasion vectors. So we know there's going to be 6 of them. That seems fine. We should have all of the resources pre-gathered for doing this, so I don't think there's any major issues there. But they are going to go over to the mega shipyard, apparently, and I guess that's fine.
Fleet enhancements applied.
So that would have been the Ararat, and we're probably not going to deploy the Ararat to the Telensian Kingdom. I don't think that will be necessary. What I do think is necessary...
Phase complete.
Well, building a robot assembly plant here, that is definitely necessary. But what I do think is necessary is we should split up our existing transport fleet in half. So we're going to have 2 of these, and we're going to have, say, Suzanne Legal here. And we're just going to have 1 in the north, 1 in the south. And that should be, in theory, good enough, but we might end up bringing in more. We'll see. So, now the question is, how long are these upgrades going to take? Looks like we have arrived at the mega shipyard. It is very laggy here, but that's not necessarily shocking. And if we get zoomed in here and select the actual mega shipyard. Actually, it's out over here. There we go. We can see just how our progress here is going. We've got a lot of ships queued up. Yeah, a whole lot of ships queued up here.
Initial
That's going to take a little
phase
time.
Commencing.
That's okay. We're going to let that go. We can see we're positive in energy credits and minerals at this moment. That is pretty good. I didn't actually expect to be positive there. So that sounds great.
Fleet
We're going to build minor
supplied.
orbitals here. Okay. So it's going to take some time for these to get done. And as they finish, we're going to start moving pairs of fleets out here. So we only have one upgraded right now, and we're going to need another one. So that's okay.
Fleet enhancement supplied.
Okay, so there is a second one, in theory. Wait a sec. Okay, it's the Federation fleet. I was mildly confused there for a moment. But no, we're fine. We're going to send these guys out to Omicron Persei, and I'm going to send this army out here as well. So this army is going to head out to Omicron Persei as well, not Zelvnak. Omicron Persei, thank you very much. And our other army here is going to head down into the south here. So, Lorgren. We're going to travel through their territory in setting this up. Okay, that's only mildly awkward. So that seems fine. So we're going to have a force down in Lorgren for sure. We're probably going to have one force out over this direction that comes in. Perhaps one over here.
Fleet
one up here.
enhancement supplied.
Okay, so that is the 10. But we do need a second fleet upgraded to send on out. That's okay. We'll get there. So we're just waiting on that at this point. They're going to come down to Lorgren. That is absolutely going to be the location that they go. We could get these guys preemptively moving, but I'd like them to move as a pair for the time being.
Fleet enhancement supplied.
Okay, the 5th Fleet 2, head on out. So that's going to take them about 6 months to get there. Understood. It will take some time to get all of these upgrades completed. Our next location is definitely going to be out over here. We have a couple of different options. I don't think it matters which one we strike out from, but there's a starbase in Kandari, so we'll probably
Fleet
end up going there.
supplied.
That seems reasonably fine. And that is the 5th Fleet 4. We're waiting on a second fleet to finish its upgrades. And we can see that that did boost a small amount of fleet power, but they're not going to be able to deal with a single 400k fleet, which is essentially what we're going to have
Fleet
here.
enhancement supplied.
So that is the 7 and the 4. They're going to head out to Kandari. Beautiful. So next up, we're probably going to be sending a Leviathan defeat. Nice. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 additional invasion vectors. I think Ukalan or Doltari, probably Ukalan, would be the next one.
Fleet enhancement supplied.
And then we'd have one down over here for sure. No doubt about that. So the one is currently done, and we're just waiting on whatever the next fleet ends up being. I don't know what that is, but it will get upgraded. How are we doing on our living metal at this point? 715? Okay. We're going to have to buy more
Fleet
living metal as
enhancement
we have to
supplied.
build additional ships, but that's understood. So the 1 and the 3 are going to head out to Doltari. 230 days to arrive there. Sounds good. So the next force, I think we are going to put down in, like, Duraskaden or something like that. There's something over in this vicinity, for sure. Maybe even in Unzara.
Fleet enhancement supplied.
Yeah, we might go out over this way, I think. That would be reasonably fine. So the 6 is currently done. We're waiting on a second fleet to finish here, and then we'll have to have another location to bring these guys in. We might have 4 fleets down in Lorgren, actually. What that would end up meaning is that we're able to split up and go after this area
Fleet
and go up this way,
enhancement
like, separately. And that would, I think, be okay. So we're going to send the 5 and the 6 over to Duraskaden. That's going to take them 317 days to get there. Okay. And then it's going to be the 12 and the 8 that are going to head down to Lorgren. And I'm going to queue a movement for them to head down over here as soon as they're done. So that looks great. Let's check in on our construction ships.
Fleet
The
enhancement
Tigris is
supplied.
actually idle. So that is out over this direction. Noted. Where exactly are you? Hang on. Yeah, you're in Skiridon. Okay. So that seems relatively fine. This is fully upgraded at this moment. So we need to send this to... Where were we? We've not done Ramen yet. We've done Robotics, I think. Yes, we've done Robotics. We haven't done Azalash. We should probably do that. Uscapius, we could definitely come into, but I want to know where we actually left off. Canum, Zakati. I remember doing Zakati. So we're going to head down to Canum. This is good. So we're going to get Canum Science, building an orbital ring. And then we're also going to be queuing up, perhaps around here or so, a Habitat Central Complex. Okay, so that'll keep that busy for now. We've got this generator station here. We're going to put in a reactor district. We're going to build a bunch of mining districts. And we're also going to build some zero-G research districts, leaving us with 4 potential industrial districts. I think that's okay. We can put in a Ministry of Production here. It's not going to be, you know, super, like, peak production. But I'm not too concerned about that.
Fleet enhancements supplied.
So we can do something along the lines of this for now. And we're almost certainly going to also need a holo theater here. And then beyond that, we can fill the rest of this with fortresses. Something like this, in theory. So that'll be relatively fine. Let's check to see if we have any additional unemployment. This is going to go a bit by the wayside as we go after prosecuting this war, but that will be relatively fine. So, we're going to need to wait for our forces to get into position. That's going to take a little bit of time. But in theory, it should go quasi-quickly. It's going to be under a year from here. So that looks good. We've got a lot of forces in travel right now. So that looks fine. We're going to be launching our primary attack stroke through here, and we've got roughly 1 million other attack vectors. This is not going to go well for the Talensian Kingdom. I can tell you that right now. Our goal is probably going to be to subjugate them. However, we're truced with them until next year in July. So that's understood. We're going to be declaring on them like the moment the truce breaks. I don't suppose that they would accept subjugation. No, that's not going to happen. Although if they weren't an overlord, they would. That's remarkable. Well, we're going to go after them anyway. This was always kind of the plan when they broke away. So we're going to crush them with no real problem here. They're not very much of a threat, but they must be part of the Union. There's no doubt about that. Other people who need to be part of a Union include their vassal, as well as the Mechpuck's Protectors and the Xenax Continuance. We will get all of those, in theory. So that seems reasonably fine. The question is, will declaring this war push anyone else out of the Federation? We'll see. We've been pretty solid on the Federation, to be honest. Everybody's been kind of chilling. We're at max cohesion and max level, so it sounds pretty decent. No doubt about that. The Kresh Collective is still 15k behind us on tech, so that is certainly noted. And we're definitely wanting to continue to push tech, but for the moment, it's not that big of a deal. Out of curiosity, how is our tech in comparison to the Fallen Empires? Overwhelming and still overwhelming. Remarkable. Okay. I would have expected us to be catching up with them by now. Interesting. Well, we haven't put a huge amount of focus into tech. We do have some tech, don't get me wrong. We have a pretty decent amount of tech, but we've been putting a lot of focus into manufacturing. So that is probably what we've got going on there. So let's check in on the status of our fleet movements. But we still have about 11 months at this point until the truce is even up. So our fleets are probably going to be in position before then. Yeah. Our fleets are definitely going to be in position before then. That's okay. We're not too concerned about it. It seems fine. We're now at 11 of 11 naval cap titans, so that looks good. If we lose a titan, we can actually replace it. I'm very pleased about that one. Let's check in on our construction ships here, since we've got about a year to kill. So that means we're probably going to be declaring this war pretty much at the beginning of next episode. If my timing here is correct, it'll be sometime around then. It's just we're truce delayed, so there's only so much we can do. So let's check through these construction ships. +7. This is going to be done quite soon. 38 here. This is going to be done quite soon, but we'll need orbitals. Okay, so I'm mostly just gauging how much influence we're going to need. We're fine on our influence for right now. So I'm not too concerned about that. Building up a bank of influence is not a bad thing. -4 on minerals, interesting. Building up a bank is not a bad thing because we know that we're going to need some to get a claim on the Mechpuck's protectors and the Xenex continuance in order to actually attack them. So that is fine. I'm not too concerned about it. However, this will be done building an orbital in Golba very, very soon. So let's find the next location for it, because it's going to be completely done here. No, this is the wrong one. Hang on. Which one was it? It was the Yangtze 2. Fair enough. So the Yangtze 2 is out in this area, right? And we've done a fair amount of work out here. Beta Aquilay is done. The Eugenia is done. And Camthrin is in progress. That looks almost done over there. But Balawar is going to need to be finished, and from there we should come over and build a habitat, or rather an orbital ring, around Policy 1. And then we can come out over this way and build a habitat central complex. So let's pre-queue that, and we can see we're now positive on minerals, but slightly negative on energy credits. So that is definitely noted. That problem is likely to be fixed fairly soon. This is set up as a research station right now. We should certainly consider putting in a mineral processing plant. Building 3 0G research districts, 3 Astra mining bays, and then we'll come back to this after we've got, I think, a few additional building slots. So that sounds good. But we're definitely making our way through these constructions very, very nicely. There's no real problem here. We do have about 7 months now until our truce with the Talensian Kingdom is up, and we are even able to declare this. Remember, in Stellaris, unlike other Paradox games, you simply cannot declare war. The button's grayed out until the truce is gone. There is no ability to break truces in Stellaris. Or if there is, it's not with any sort of ethics that I've played. Generally speaking, you can't break truces in Stellaris, you just gotta wait. So that is indeed exactly what we're going to do, and to be honest, we would probably wait out the truce anyway, because we're interested in our political image here. We're the leader of this very, very large federation, and we don't want people to get upset about this. Ideally. So we're back down to -36 on the energy credits. This is kind of wildly oscillating, and that's certainly intriguing. We'll keep an eye on that. The Rubicon is now idle. That is over here in Camthrin, and yeah, this was expected. So we're going to colonize out over here. This is going to, of course, be founder species only. And from here, we need to build whatever orbitals we can. It's not going to be a lot out over this way, but we know that. So major orbital here, this is going to be a minor orbital, an additional minor orbital, and yeah, this is going to be a very, very mediocre system for us. Incredibly, incredibly mediocre. But that's okay. That is not the end of the world. Cool. Well, let's just check through for jobs again here, since we're still waiting. We're pretty much ready to declare this war, although there is one more thing that we can do. There are no jobs, so let's go ahead and do it. All of our forces in these invasion vectors should be moved away from the star to the jump points. So we're going to do that, so we are ready to jump straight on in. This is going to be a jump point of right out over here. And then these guys are going to be at the jump point here, I think. Yep, that is correct. And then these guys are going to be at the jump point down here. One more to do. That is going to be these lads, and they are going to be ready to jump to the south. Perfect. So that looks fine. That is all of our fleets, in theory, at the jump point. Definitely by the time we're able to declare this war, in about 3.5 months. So that is making solid progress there. No doubt about that. Our civilian ships are going to continue civilian shipping for a while, but there's only so much of this that they can actually do. So that looks good. Our planetary unemployment is in a good spot. We're not expecting to see a lot of unemployment, especially up in the top section here, because we kind of built a lot of things. No doubt about that. And here in Alpha Centauri Prime, we're actually missing a couple of building slots. That's noted. Can we get a Ministry of Production yet? The answer is no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this Mineral Purification Hub, and we're going to put in a energy grid. We're going to max out these districts for now, but we're not going to build any more than this. I want to be able to get at least 2 more building slots here, and that will be fairly necessary. So that is noted. Okay. Yeah, we've definitely got a lot of these locations maxing out without upgrading their orbital rings. Their orbital rings are absolutely something that we want to max out. Now, we can build modules here. Habitation modules are, in fact, a very, very, very good thing to build. And that's basically the only thing we want to build in those modular slots. But we're lacking influence on that, so that is definitely a thing. Naval cap upgrade? Naval cap upgrade. We are over our naval cap by a pretty hefty amount. We're currently paying 35% increased maintenance, and we would definitely like to work on that a little bit. Minus 926 energy credits. Spicy. Okay, let's let this month tick run. 285. We must have people, like, oscillating between jobs. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. 285 is more acceptable. I'm not going to call it acceptable, but it is more acceptable. Well, we're in position for this war, and we're just waiting. However, this truce is going to break in just a couple of days here. So, looks like my timing was a little bit off. We do have a notification in here that is, I believe, forces arriving at their destination. That sounds good. And we have a notification in here as well, which disappeared the moment I clicked on the tab, and that usually means that we don't have any unemployment. Okay, so this truce breaks on the 26th. It's the 22nd right now. 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. This truce is gone. On this very same day, we are going to declare war with a vassalized subjugation CB. Our allies also have 37 claims, and that will be absolutely fine. I'm wondering what our subjugation policy is, though. I want to check in on that real quick. So, government policies, subjugation war terms is oppressive vassalage. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly where we want to be. So that sounds good. We are going to declare this war vassalized subjugation, and we are going to do exactly this. 37 claims. Okay, that's fine. We should have no real problem doing this. We're going to declare this war. The question is this going to cause any of these guys to bail on the Federation? I suspect that the answer to this is no, because I think that if they would have done it when the Talensian Kingdom left. But we'll find out.
War declaration processed.
Okay, so now we need to bring all of these forces in, right? We're going to take these guys up to Blorg's Bane, and then we're going to, at that point, head out to Taterra, whereas these other guys are going to head up to Kahalajam? Something like that. So we're going to grab these guys and deselect them, and they're going to head up this way. That'll be fine for now. Now, this force out over here, they're going to head in this direction and probably go take over the P94L Singularity. That will be fine for now. Whereas these guys are going to head directly into Alamak. These are going to... Well, we'll see if this gets pulled in. If it doesn't, we may head up over this direction. We'll keep an eye on that. They haven't joined the war yet. So these guys are going to go attack Tei. Okay, in we go. Are these in the war? Looks like they are not joining the war. Okay, so we're going to head up like so, and we're going to bring these guys in as well.
Striking hostile station.
Fantastic. So, their forces are no match for us. Even if we fought this entire thing right here with these guys here, we would win. 100%. There's... Well, actually, we could do the math here. It would be not close. Not close at all. especially if we turned on edicts. So that sounds good. I want to check in to make sure that these guys were not brought in. They were not. Okay, good to know. We're not relying on our Federation for anything here. We're going to do everything here ourselves. And the question then is, how do we progress here? Well, we're going to have to do some bombardment. No doubt about that. So this is a 1203 up over here. We'll just go bombard that, and we'll go bombard this as well. We'll see if they're willing to surrender in orbital bombardment. That would be very convenient. But I'm not convinced that they will. So over here in Tei, both of these are going to go here. This is currently uncolonized, so that is intriguing for sure. So we're just going to go bombard. Sounds great. And at this point, of course, we need to be on the lookout for idle fleets here. So that'll be relatively fine. We'll just keep an eye on that. And we'll also need to bring these guys up a bit. We're going to bring them up to, like, we'll bring them up to Gukkow for now. That'll be fine. So we're going to have these forces split, I think, once we get to Hixeros, unless their dimensional fleet is still here, but the rest of these are heading off. That's interesting. Their dimensional fleet is, I think, just lagging behind. Noted. So Blorg's Bane is currently under control. We're going to bring our army up over this way, and this is going completely according to plan. This is exactly the way we expected this.
Initial colonization phase complete.
So that looks good. These guys are, of course, going to come down to Orthama. We did finish up Jaltham Prime, and that, of course, means that we should put in our robot assembly plant here. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to prosecute this war. The Talensian Kingdom must be brought into the fold. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.